theme song.
Yeah.
We got a copyright infraction, right, against us. We can't use our Friday show music anymore. Is that right?
We can't use the music that we lifted from the early metaverse.
So why can't we use one of these Riverside themes? Welcome, everybody.
This is what everybody tuned in to listen to, yeah.
Live from room 715 at the Wesley Calgary Downtown Tapestry Collection by Hilton. Why do hotels name themselves that? It makes no sense. I'm going to say that again.
That's the name of the hotel?
The Wesley Calgary Downtown, Tapestry Collection by Hilton. I mean, what is that?
It's a mouthful is what it is. I don't even know where you're going.
That's in Calgary, Alberta. It's a big old fat Ari-less edition of Business Pants Friday. No Data Queen today.
Yeah. Why are you clapping for that? The Data Queen is busy in the data. Actually,
sometimes I just don't want her around me. Featuring the irritating Emma Lurking and our special guest this week, a goodly version of ESG's favorite a-hole, Matt Moscardi.
Yay!
Is that an oxymoron? Can you be ESG's favorite a-hole? Is it a thing?
Oh, I actually, of all the monikers you picked for me, that one is the most accurate.
Favorite a-hole. Full candor.
ESG's favorite a-hole.
I worked with Emma at an actual company where we weren't the bosses. He sort of. Okay, I'm gonna be okay. How do I say this? You sort of were known. You're more known as a pariah than an a-hole. I don't know if anyone ever.
I was
called
known as a diva. I was a diva, not a pariah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I never heard the word diva being used.
I like the word diva.
I got on an actual. This is not a fabrication. This is not a joke or an exaggeration. Yes. On an actual performance review, it was written that I was a drain on morale, and that I was a diva.
We talked about this before, and maybe this is why we're a good combination. Because I actually got in a performance review that I was good for morale, and I know that sounds corny. And Emma probably does not believe it.
That means we're average for morale together. Is
yeah.
No,
Emma, that's unfair of you. I would always make an effort to see. You don't know me in an office setting. I was doing everything I could to avoid working. So I was everywhere chatting
I did hear
with
that
people.
about you.
I would talk to the people that nobody even wanted to get close to. Like I was that guy. Yeah. And you people know who you are, but I would be talking to them.
I apparently was draining the morale.
No, you were just hiding in a corner. I remember your desk in Boston. You were hiding.
They put me in the farthest back corner because I was so loud.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I believe that.
All right. Who's ready?
I'm ready.
Friday. We got Story of the Week. We got Goodliest of the Week. Assholiest of the Week. We have Irritating F's of the Week with the great Emma Lurking. And we have something from our fancy expert Greg Larkin.
We do. Punks and Pinstripes' very own Greg Larkin is going to sign us out today. He's going to. He gave us a nice long rant about Elon Musk and Tesla and employees.
He's entitled.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So he's going to sign us out
for once.
All right.
I mean,
let's get moving.
Let's do it. Let's do 5 minutes. Oh, she's reading my mind. Here we go.
Go.
Story of the week. Obviously, Twitter versus Musk. It's often the story of the week, but this week is particularly good. Twitter is now suing Elon Musk because Elon Musk is trying to get out of the deal. I got to read this incredible quote from the lawyers from Twitter. This says it all. Rarely are lawyers able to summarize something so beautifully, but here we go. Ready?
Ready.
Having mounted a public spectacle to put Twitter in play and having proposed and then signed a seller-friendly merger agreement, Musk apparently believes that he, unlike every other party subject to Delaware contract law, is free to change his mind, trash the company, disrupt its operations, destroy stockholder value, and walk away. It's a great. How do you quibble with that?
I don't know if have you read the entire lawsuit from Twitter?
I've seen a good portion of it.
It is so good.
Yeah.
It is so good.
The greatest thing about this is that a lot of it is his own tweets.
Yeah.
On the very platform being used against him because he's doing everything he promised not to do, which is essentially trash the company constantly.
They put a screenshot in the lawsuit of a poop emoji.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
It's so
so
good.
good.
I don't even, to be honest, like, I remember someone from the neighborhood, a lawyer, telling me that the one reason why he wasn't overly worried about Donald Trump becoming president is because he was such a moron that he had no ability to navigate D.C. because, you know, there's such a complicated legal structure to getting things done in that city that he would have no idea how to do any of it. And he was proved right. I mean, yes, his personality pretty much ruined America, but he wasn't able to pass much legislation because he was just a complete and utter moron and nobody liked him. And it's, to me, it's the same with Elon. Like, I almost just can't, when looking at that lawsuit, I almost can't believe what he was thinking. I just don't understand. I just don't get it. Like, he couldn't control himself to constantly crap on the company he was trying to buy when they told him explicitly, if you do that, you're screwed, essentially, right? It's unbelievable.
It's lovely. I love
It's
it.
lovely. It's lovely. All right. That's the first story of the week. Twitter versus... Okay.
What happened?
124,000 confidential documents leaked to The Guardian over there in the UK, all about how heinous and horrible Uber is, or was. I'm going to say is, because as we pointed out here, a lot of the leadership is intact from that time, despite them, you know, sacrificing the horrible bro culture dude, Travis Kalanick. So that's number 2 story.
Mm-hmm.
Uber leak.
Sacrificing. That's a strong way to say that.
Yeah, because he walked away with,
Sacrifice.
what, $1.5 billion? How much did he
He's
walk away?
cashed out for several $1 billion.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
waiting
he's
for
fine.
that. I want to be free float sacrifice.
Yeah, sacrifice me, please.
Number 3, a different kind of data is introduced to the world, and that would be space data.
Yeah.
The first
Oh,
batch
here
of
we
James
go.
Webb Space Telescope images and data released by NASA this week. So this is I know it's hard to fit this into our world, but I'm going to by saying we always ask for all companies to disclose their data. It's the only way we can get better at this. Only way we can create new stories. It'll help our product. So this counts. NASA's giving us data.
I love the fact that
Intel gives us data.
I like that space disclosure is the next frontier. I'm all about demanding more data from planets, exoplanets.
And finally, despite Emma's trying to tarnish the telescope, it's actually not a depressing story of the week.
No, I love it.
My number 4 story is Prime Day, except nobody cares, so it's not going to win. Nobody cares anymore.
Yeah, who cares?
No one cares.
It's good though, right? Like, have we accomplished something as a race that humans finally don't care about Prime Day? Is that good?
No.
No, I think we don't care about Prime.
Oh, no, I don't. I really think it's lost its luster, and maybe that's the fault of Andy Jassy for a
It's
terrible
getting
name.
criticized because people don't like the deals, but
Okay,
I
well,
think people still are
still.
ordering a whole bunch. They sold. Let's put it this way: I saw a headline today that said that they sold 300 million items on Prime Day.
300
what I saw.
million. That's
I
one
think
to every
Christians-
American.
I think Christians should be mad. I think Prime Day is really Christmas in July. So I think anyone who's against Prime Day is actually against Jesus.
Anti-Christian. I agree.
And finally, the fifth story of the
Want
week.
Christmas
This is
all over
this is a local one. This is for me only. Employees at a Biddeford Starbucks. Biddeford is a city right here on the coast, right south of Portland. Employees at a Biddeford Starbucks shop have voted to unionize. That's for you, Emma. Voted to unionize. There you go. Come on.
That's definitely not the story of the week.
That's store 100. I know Emma's gonna crap on this by telling me how many Starbucks stores there are. That's number 192. 192 Starbucks cafes have unionized. I know Matt is shaking his head, but it's cool.
Okay, I wasn't gonna crap on that. What I was gonna crap on is you calling whatever that place is a city, because if it's in Maine.
Have you been to Maine? Like, we're small here. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're so like Arnold Schwarzenegger down there in New York. I don't care.
But listing this as one of the stories
For
of
me
the
only.
week.
for me.
Yeah, is a little like listing the fact that they repaved a road in West Hartford, Connecticut, as a story of the week.
It was for himself,
It
Mac.
was for me.
Okay.
Damien's
For me.
working.
I didn't
on
realize this
finding
was
joy.
just a masturbation of the week.
Vote.
Just,
I think the top 3 stories are all contenders here: Twitter versus Musk, Uber, and
Emma, do you have
space data.
I'm really torn. So I'm gonna let Emma go first.
It's not space data. Defense companies are making your telescopes, FYI. And Prime Day, no. That's town, city, Starbucks, no. I mean, it is.
Look it up while you talk. If Biddeford's a city or a town.
It's. Look up the population and then you can tell me.
Well, no, there's actually a definition of a town and city.
Yeah, I know. West Hartford, fun fact, is a city.
City of Biddeford. City of Biddeford.
Okay. I think I have to go Twitter Musk, even though I really was trying to find a reason to go for the Uber leak. But I just can't. I cannot think of a reason why the Twitter versus Musk story is not bigger, especially given the context that, as we said earlier this week, it is so 5 years ago. If you know, you know.
Here's a plug to Biddeford. Food and Wine magazine this year highlights Biddeford as a small city with a big food scene in its list of America's next great food cities. So there you go. They use the word city twice right there in that one.
Just because it's in the name doesn't make
Food
it a
and Wine.
city.
Thank you, Food and Wine. That sounds like a made up.
It's a 12-person
Sorry,
city.
Biddeford,
Congratulations
we
to
love you.
Biddeford.
They're like, what should we name our magazine? Let's just call it the 2 nouns that we cover: food, wine. Okay, that's so.
logical.
Emma voting
Makes
for
sense.
Twitter versus Musk.
Yeah, I'm torn between Twitter and Musk, simply because of Twitter's lawsuit. And
Beautiful.
Emma, you can disparage space data all you want. Did you look at the pictures?
Yes,
Did you
I
even
know.
look at them?
Yes, the 5 galaxies colliding, the baby stars being born with the galaxies in the background. I saw it.
Come on, honestly, as stories of the week go, right? Poop emojis pale in comparison to looking up and knowing that 5 galaxies, trillion of stars, galaxies colliding somewhere.
Yeah, but if you squint,
like,
those
this is
galaxies look
pointless.
like a poop
Here's-
emoji.
Ready? This is why it's not my story. The real reason is because when I think about space, I think about space travel. I think about the inevitable capacity of mankind to ruin space as well and
Back to
spend
Musk.
money going to space, commercially going to space instead of like saving the planet or on.
It's not going to happen. You want to know why?
It's basically propaganda, Matt.
You want to know why it's not going to happen? It's not going to happen
Why?
because rockets falling out of the sky in the next 10 years are going to kill us all anyway.
Only
we
a
already
10%
discovered
chance.
1
Only
in
1 out of
10,
10. That's it. Only 10%
chance
One out of 10.
that you could get hit by a rocket falling out of the sky. I'm going to go space data because I'm tired of Twitter and Musk. Everybody talks about Twitter and Musk. And NASA needs some love. This place funded
It does?
everything. They fund everything. You
right.
want something cool, you go to NASA. These are some of the smartest people on our planet.
Yeah,
I
the
love 'em.
smartest people on our planet are signing contracts with Elon Musk to develop their shit.
It's not their fault that the government won't fund them properly.
Keep arguing so I can decide how to break this tie.
You're going to go with Biddeford because
No.
it's a city.
Biddeford. No, I don't care about Biddeford. I got to go for I'm going to go with our friend Matt Orsag. I just saw that his podcast was voted top 30 best corporate social responsibility podcasts.
Yeah, listeners?
No,
Wait.
we're
you
not going
submit
down this
us?
road.
Before you praise
I'm
Submit us. I
shutting
wanna win
this
things.
down.
Matt
Damien,
Orsag,
vote.
I'm going to go with my new best friend, Matt Orsag, who is sitting in this room with me right now as we speak. And say that this
awkward.
Twitter Musk story is it's just too good. I mean,
Wait, so you're going with me?
Yeah,
I'm
not
going
Matt
with you because
Orsag.
it's too. I actually was tired of the story, but now that I think of the spectacle of how Musk could really get dragged in this, I did make some loose prediction a while ago that this whole thing was gonna slowly ruin Musk. So I don't know. I like this.
Well,
I'm going
and
with this.
add on the fact that there are now jubilant lawyers involved, which I know is an oxymoron. But you don't get to see jubilant lawyers that much.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't even know what that means.
Jubilant. It's not
They're
a
about
word.
to have
So
the
jubilant?
case of their careers. They know that they're set for life after this.
Is that what you munch on while you're watching the Matrix trilogy? Some jubilant lawyers? I don't know
You
what you're
two,
talking about.
nuclear
All right, let's
and
move on.
jubilant.
Story of the week, Twitter coming down on Musk. Come on, let's move on.
All right, give me a 5-minute timer. I'm going to do Goodliest of the week. Here we
do
go. Goodliest of the week, number 1. This is in lieu of Ari. Now here's the headline: Heathrow imposes capacity cap to secure better, more reliable summer journeys. That's right. No more of this headline, which is Delta flew a plane with just luggage from Heathrow to the U.S. That happened this week.
It was 1,000 bags.
1,000 bags. They filled the plane with bags and then sent it over the ocean. No more of that because we're capping capacity at Heathrow anytime you. Although Emirates Airlines just said they're not listening. They're just not going to comply.
How many of those bags were full of just like free T-shirts you got at Fenway Park, like shot out of a cannon?
I'm hoping that it is a T-shirt cannon on there. It's just like a shipment of T-shirt cannons. So that's Goodliest number 1. That requires no other context. No less flights out of Heathrow. That's just great. Option number 2. Costco's CEO's one-word answer to whether he would raise the price of hot dogs.
Yeah.
Quote, no.
Yeah, that's
now,
great.
unlike Parag Agrawal over at Twitter, this is a CEO who is empowered, right? This is a CEO who's decisive, taking action where action deserved. Matt, why did you pick this? I don't understand this. Why is this good?
I get it.
I liked it for 2 reasons.
Yeah, go ahead.
First of all, hot dogs are basically rat meat, and it shouldn't be that expensive. So I'm in full agreement that it shouldn't be that expensive. Number 2, I like that there's no exposition here. There's no long diatribe where the Costco CEO is trying to make us think that they're super smart and like, oh, we've considered the price of inflation and our supply chain is strong. We don't foresee a price increase at this time. No, it's just no. Next question.
Let me ask you this, Matt. Is not raising the price of hot dogs, would that be considered a woke move or an anti-woke move? Which camp is that?
It's an anti-woke move.
Got it.
Agreed.
And number 3, your number 3 option for Goodliest of the week is planting trees. These are stories.
We talk about this a lot. This is a very Ari
these are stories. It's back. Planting trees is back. These are stories from just this week. Can planting 1 trillion trees save the world? In the New York Times.
No.
Green Push sees 100,000 trees planted in county. This is Leicestershire County. City Council in the UK planted more than 100,000 trees over the past year to make it greener, and they've pledged 700,000 more in the coming years. This is one county. Come on.
Okay.
New tree planting to increase biodiversity in Brighton. The UK is on
stuck
top
in the
of
UK.
tree
Yeah,
planting.
what?
No, I'm just telling you, this is where the stories came from. The council agreed to plant thousands of trees every year, and this is part of their commitment to tackling both climate change and biodiversity emergencies.
This is so Ari, this choice.
Yeah,
and the last one was, I planted a giant sequoia tree and offset the carbon footprint of my entire life.
How do you plant a giant sequoia tree? I would love to do that. How do you do that?
You just put a seed, put it in the ground, and started growing up.
That's how it works.
Water it sometimes.
Okay.
But in the quote in the article is, crucially, when it comes to nature's carbon capture, no other tree comes close. Sequoias sequester more carbon than any other species. Everybody, go in your backyard.
They're massive.
Just put a sequoia seed. You're done.
Yeah.
Your whole life.
Well,
done.
Can they grow on the East Coast, sequoias?
They planted this in it wasn't on the West Coast. It was it was somewhere like bizarre. I'm trying to remember exactly where. It was in the UK.
Hell's Kitchen.
It was in the UK. No,
Okay,
it was Hell's Kitchen. Yeah. All I'm saying is tree planting is back, and that's a good thing. Those are my options.
This one's so easy, Emma. I don't have to talk very long on this one.
Go
for
for
me,
it.
this one's easy.
Go for it.
Look, Heathrow, I love you forever. I mean, just yelling at everyone, just like scolding everyone. And again, this is the company, the corporation that stands to make more money by having more passengers, and they're just like, enough, people. Like This is why I put the travel industry into the drugs category. So people are just addicted to nonsense. Like it's enough travel. It's enough. Get over yourselves. I love that. I love Heathrow. And I love that Matt had a very UK bent today. It's making us very international. We need to sell our new product everywhere,
so international,
even the UK.
Yeah.
That's my vote.
I'm also going to go Heathrow because while I do like the Costco hot dog headline, it's very I'm having a very like British sitcom-y moment in my head about the Heathrow thing because it feels very Brit to me. It feels very like this is all out of order. This is unacceptable. We are buttoned up people who wait in lines in an orderly way, and you can't be here too much. And I like that.
Speaking of button up Brits, I was looking at the very young and beautiful Matt Orsag, his picture on LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. He looks like an old comedy actor, like an old British comedy actor to me. That's
Matt didn't realize that by joining us yesterday, if you haven't heard our show yesterday, he's basically going to feature every day.
I'm just talking about his old, beautiful image used on LinkedIn. I'm not talking about the current Matt. I won't talk about the current Matt. That would be wrong. All right, keep going. That's Goodliest of the Week, Heathrow.
Goodliest of the Week, Heathrow, no more flights.
Keep us going, Matt. Who's the asshole of the week?
Let's do asshole of the week. Give me 5 minutes.
Boo.
Asshole of the week, number 1. Ken Paxton, Texas Attorney General.
I'm already depressed.
Now, if you felt good for a second, let's kill it. Texas sues to block Biden from requiring doctors to provide abortions in medical emergencies.
Oh, my God.
Yep. He actually said that the Biden administration seeks to transform every emergency room in the country into a walk-in abortion clinic.
Right.
Because that's happening.
Yeah.
Asshole. He butted in the middle of a transgender youth case where he tried to show up at court and insert himself and had to be tossed out by the judge.
I was going to say
because he was just trying to make some political point. In fact, the judge said that, or the other attorney said, the attorney general has no business being in this case and tried to push his way in to satisfy a political interest, not a legal one. There's no legal cause. He also, in the past few months, sent a letter to the SEC on the carbon rules, launched an investigation against Twitter for their bots.
Wait, is this
look kind of stupid now, Kenny?
But this is not this week, though, right?
No, but this is just an accrued asshole over the last.
Can you imagine launching an investigation against Twitter for allegedly misreporting fake? I mean, can you imagine?
I can't even imagine.
The attorney general of your state is launching an investigation against. I mean, what the?
And it was all because Elon called them up and said bots, and
crazy.
There's a whole thing, right? And then there's, of course, the anti-woke laws, which he penned in Texas, where they can't. Sure. So Ken Paxton, congratulations on just persistent assholiness. Like, just you want everyone dead in your state. I'm really excited for you, except for Twitter, who you want to survive with no bots. Number 2 asshole of the week.
Yeah.
I'm going to alternate here between real assholes and then kind of joke assholes. This one's really simple.
You don't have to tell us it's a joke.
Well, it's not like a joke. It's still an asshole. The asshole is sex. Because here's the headline.
Is sex? This is getting dirty.
Here's the headline. World population to reach 8 billion on November 15th, United Nations says.
They know the date, the very date?
The day.
Scary.
Yeah, they know the day. Stop it. Stop procreating. Elon, if you're listening, stop
But to be fair, isn't that
and Elon's dad.
Oh, can I just...
That's just creepy.
Only because Emma references it. Here's a headline today in the news. Elon Musk's 76-year-old dad says he's had another child with his 35-year-old stepdaughter. And his quote is, "The only thing we are on Earth is to reproduce. The only thing we are on Earth for is to reproduce." What? Okay, that quote sucks. But they're not wrong, the Musks. I mean, isn't that sort of the meaning of life for all of the species? Is just to stay alive, to keep going.
Well, we need to do the opposite
about it.
Yeah. So you want it to be over? You're done.
Also, you have a lot of options, not the girl you raised from when she was 4 years old. Because
I'm not getting into that.
Basically, pedophilia.
I'm not getting into that part of the headline.
Stop it. I mean, And speaking of Elon, my number 3 asshole is not Elon, but it's Elon Musk's lawyer, Alex Spiro.
Yeah.
He's the guy who won Elon the pedo case lawsuit, the pedo guy lawsuit, which now actually seems quaint and feels like Elon should have lost that, given what's happened since then, where we thought he was just a regular old crazy person. Now it feels like he's actually sort of like an autocratic dictator, weird. There's something weird going on, right? And this guy is behind Elon getting worse. Starts with winning a case where he calls someone a pedo guy and wins.
I don't understand that one. I don't get how he won that.
Falsely calls someone a pedo guy. If he was actually a pedo, that'd be different.
Yes. At what point do you, as a lawyer, is it your responsibility to say, you know what? I can't defend you. You're like future Lex Luthor. You might not be it quite yet now, but I can see this coming, and I definitely don't want my name next to your name on stuff. So I'm nominating Alex Spiro. And my final asshole of the week, 4 options here, are, and stick with me for a second, because Damien, you're going to say, I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah, I say that all the time.
Yeah, I know. Goats.
Oh.
The sacrificial lamb is a saying, but for thousands of years, it was either a lamb or a goat that was sacrificed on Passover. Yes, this is correct. Jesus is called the Lamb of God, and then all of a sudden everything's like sacrificial lamb.
Oh.
But goats get away with it.
Yeah.
And then I saw this headline this week. Agrawal willing to be Twitter's sacrificial lamb and Musk deal, FT reports.
Yeah.
Can we call him a sacrificial goat? Can he be a goat?
Wait.
Like, why do lambs, why is it why did goats get away with this? You're an asshole, you goat. You should be sacrificed too. And I'll say another thing.
Yeah.
According to our data, Parag is not the most sacrificial goat. I looked through global influence scores, U.S. influence scores, all of the directors in the United States, and I looked at how influential they are relative to each other.
Where'd you get the influencer scores?
We make them. So
we make them. That's right.
This is the stats that
and
we have here.
Yeah.
The CEO in the U.S. with the lowest influence score relative to everyone else is, and she should be the sacrificial goat, and it is a she. It's Stephanie McMahon, the daughter of Vince McMahon and CEO of the World Wrestling Entertainment Company.
Okay.
She has the lowest influence of any CEO in the United States.
Because they're still going to be like, okay, but what does your dad think?
Exactly. I mean, he had to leave because he sexually harassed everyone and assaulted people, and he's a terrible human being.
Payouts to 4 different women.
But shouldn't she actually be the sacrificial goat in that case?
I don't know what
Parag?
this means. Emma, do you know what he's talking about, Emma? I don't know.
See?
I don't know.
I
don't know what's going on.
I told you he would say, I don't know what you're talking about. So those are your options.
Yeah, I don't. Help me out, Emma.
That first one is just so tough. Like,
Emma's getting right to the voting. I like it. Yeah.
I don't know. I just I hate that lawyer too. That lawyer sucks.
He's a Tufts graduate.
Yeah. Ew. Gross.
He also represented Julian Edelman, former Patriots wide receiver great Julian Edelman.
Oh yeah, because I trust that NFL players are doing great stuff all the time.
Anti-Semite.
Yeah. No. There's just nothing assholier to me than this stupid Texas Attorney General. Oh, I can't even talk about it anymore. Ugh.
Is it okay? You're voting for that. It's a tough one for me because I guess it does apply to all this stuff. The abortion story does apply to us because we're covering how corporations are reacting to it. I hate to. Yeah.
Even beyond, of course, the abortion stuff is the bulk of it, but even connecting it to our world is not hard. Like the last headline, they're investigating Twitter. Why?
Right, but
Why?
but Matt's cheat. Matt, if this was a court case, I wouldn't let Matt. That's not admissible evidence, Matt, because that's not part of story of the week. You're leading Emma by giving her. That happened months ago.
That's what every good lawyer does.
I know, but
that's set you up so that I convince
and can
you
I just
with
say
the
that I watch a lot of court dramas on TV, it's a trick, right? Like you say it out loud so the jury hears it, but then they overrule it and it's not admissible as evidence. But the jury heard you say it.
Yeah,
right?
They can't unhear it.
I hate that. Come on.
Yeah. Then it gets stricken from the record.
Stricken from the record. Who looks at the
where
record?
they just cross it out on a piece of paper.
For that reason, I'm not going to vote for Ken Paxton because I think Matt was cheating there.
You're wrong.
The sex thing, I don't know how I feel about.
Look, if you combine the sex thing with the abortion thing, where literally we are outlawing abortion in this country, and we need to stop procreating, right? Like
I'm confused anyway because you referenced Jesus, and Jesus was born without any sex being involved. So I'm already confused. I don't know what's going on. So let's just scrap that one. And by the way, hasn't the UN also said that we're gonna hit peak population around 2100? Like, isn't it actually supposed to crest eventually?
Yes.
Yeah,
I know exactly
let's celebrate that.
We're all gonna die.
Okay, that's good though, right? Elon Musk's lawyer. Is he representing Musk in this case with Twitter?
In the Twitter case,
lead.
He's the lead
Lawyer.
He's the court lawyer. Yeah.
How did he win the pedo guy lawsuit? That is troubling to me. Didn't he say it against one of the heroes from one of the guys who helped rescue the miners?
Yes.
Look, I just think the point should be we shouldn't be in a place where you can call anybody anything you want all the time and have incredibly high-priced lawyers bail you out of being able to say that, and simultaneously like limit our ability to use, like, say ESG is a scam, right? Like ESG, why is ESG opinion different from your stupid opinion that guy was a pedo guy and you're making a joke? The difference is you have an incredibly high-priced lawyer who's willing to take any amount of money to defend you.
Yep.
I was gonna go goats, believe it or not, because I like that we.
Go goats, because our data.
You finally shoehorn. You know what? I'm just gonna go goats because you shoehorned a plug for our data, influencer data, and I think it's amazing that our data does reflect that the daughter of the former CEO has no influence over her board, and not that we anecdotally are saying this, because anecdotally, of course, she's gonna have no influence. But that our data right here at Free Flow, our data can back that up with an actual methodology. It's not just Matt like saying that Stephanie McMahon has no data. I think that's cool, actually, and I know I'm nerding out, and really I'm just begging.
I was actually shocked that she was at the bottom. I figured it would be like the CEO of some unknown, like, small U.S. company.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's like, Stephanie McMahon because wrestling.
So I'm going to go with that one because you hit a lot of the things that I like the best there. I'm going to go with goats. You can break the tie. Goats and Ken Paxton. That's a weird.
It's goats. It's goats all the way. Goats are the asshole. They got away with it for way too long. Goats are the asshole.
Plus, you got to give Matt some credit, Emma, for just figuring out how to a narrative around goats.
Look,
I managed to get Parag Agrawal, goats, and lambs, and our data in one story. I think I'm the winner of the week.
But I do want to say I officially object to this overall because I do love goats. They're wonderful little creatures. I don't want them to die. All right,
I'm having the goat talk. That's done now.
Irritating us the week with the great Emma Lurking. Put a timer up because you wrote a lot of stuff.
So as much as I would love to put a timer up, that is something that I'm currently technologically unable to do right now, which is great because I don't need a timer. I'm going to talk for as long as I want. Thank you. Okay. Number 1. Delta Airlines CEO says the recent flight chaos is his number 1 challenge.
Okay.
So
it's your
this
job.
headline is irritating enough on its own, in my opinion. No shit, the insanity of the air travel industry right now, or being covered by every news outlet 24/7, is your number 1 challenge. Thank you.
Yeah, it's probably your fault too. No offense. I mean, the way they drum up demand for travel is just obnoxious. But anyway, I don't want to speak over Emma. How dare me?
How dare you? So the CEO said this following stupid statement, which is that they were going through a rough patch, a function of the enormous surge in demand, and that they didn't do as good as we could, which is that's a verbatim quote that the CEO said. They didn't
do as good as we could.
I
like that quote, actually. I like that.
Yep. That is the truth.
It's better than no. It's more interesting than no.
No, it's not more interesting than no.
But that's not all. There's a supplemental irritating headline to this irritating headline, which is Delta CEO says he doesn't regret encouraging 2,000 pilots to retire during the pandemic.
I love this. Is this part of the same story?
No, they're two different stories.
Does he connect them?
No, I don't think so.
I love that. What a dope. I love it.
No, they're both Business Insider headlines. And so the background on that is that in 2020, when travel demand was going down, clearly Delta does not have a handle on supply and demand. This is an issue for them. Delta offered incentives for senior pilots to take early retirement in June of 2020. So to summarize here, just for a second. One, there was an entire article dedicated to the CEO's mere acknowledgement of the air travel debacle. Two,
okay. And can we name him Ed Bastian? We got to name our CEOs.
Eddie.
Ed Bastian.
Two, you forced 2,000 pilots to go into an early retirement. Three, which has now bitten you in the ass because you cannot meet demand. And four, your customers hate you because you keep canceling their flights and losing their shit. Yeah. Your employees hate you because you're treating them like crap, and they're the ones who really have to deal with the mess that you made. Yeah. And six, now you're saying that you don't regret a major contributing factor to the crisis that's currently making people's lives hell.
No, he said we didn't do so good. We didn't do as good as we could.
Didn't do as good as we could.
Also worth mentioning that Delta got $5.4 billion in the airline bailout during coronavirus. $5.4 billion. And that was after spending all of their cash on stock buybacks before the coronavirus bailout. So here's your sequence of events. Spend all your money satisfying your paying your executives and satisfying your shareholders. Lose all your money because you can't fly anymore. Ask the government and taxpayers for help. Force retire all your pilots. Turn back on your airline and can't actually fly because you don't have any pilots anymore.
How about not
quite the sequence?
Not predicting the pent-up demand of travel after the pandemic. That's the dopiest thing I think I've ever heard.
Some of the things I left out from this call that he was making with investors was just, they were like, people delayed their weddings. So for like the next 2 years, there are going to be a lot of weddings. It's like basically what he said. It was crazy.
Just realized.
Yeah, just realized. Just occurred to him.
Okay, I like it. Irritating us of the week. Ed Bastian,
number 2.
CEO. Yeah.
Find the smartest technologist and make them CEO. Silicon Valley investor Mark Andreessen says. Firstly,
that's the worst.
It's no. It's just a no, because he's basically saying that there are not enough executives there are not enough executives of large companies who understand the technology they're selling, developing well enough, which would be fair. But he then used Elon Musk as his sole example. And this is what he said. He said, the engineers working on self-driving cars are the most important people at Tesla. Elon talks about them all the time. They're basically the leaders of the company. The people working on stuff at traditional original equipment manufacturers are not. What I just heard was, I was at Elon, Mr. I dropped out of my PhD program a couple days in, is the CEO, while all these brilliant engineers who are supposedly the leaders of the company are not at all the leaders of the company. So aside from the fact that knowing how to run a major corporation and knowing how to build the next piece of disruptive technology are two completely different skill sets, his example doesn't even work. It just really managed to piss me off today.
I'm a little tired of the Elon success story. Like, he was forced out of PayPal.
Now you're saying that? Yeah.
He bought Tesla. He built it on subsidies. Like, he's a good. It's not to take away from the fact that he's smarter than I am and knows more things than I do.
But that's a low barrier to entry.
But yeah, well, I'm not creating high bars. I'm creating low bars on purpose. But he's failed up, and we said that over and over again.
Not to mention the long list of issues at Tesla, including like self-driving cars that simply aren't working despite
They don't
promises.
self-drive.
There's
They
recently
self-run
someone,
over.
There's recently someone is a lawsuit, or someone was killed, and Elon basically admitted that it's the fault of Tesla.
Yep.
There are plants closing because of operational problems. There's a rocket at SpaceX that just exploded that
Yep.
Elon is admitting is bad news. Yeah, he doesn't actually seem to be getting a lot of this right.
No.
And I can't imagine what's distracting him.
No, no idea.
No, I don't know.
All right, and number three.
Well, before you move on, though,
yeah.
can I just say the irony of this story to me is that Twitter did appoint probably their best engineer to the CEO role. That's Parag Agrawal, and that doesn't seem to be going well. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, he clearly lacks any kind of leadership.
He should have been a technologist.
Yeah, should have been a technologist.
Crazy.
Okay, go ahead.
All
Emma.
right, number 3. 30% of women say they don't know enough to start investing. Here's how they can get started.
Okay,
So,
it's a weird one.
Fortune was really my news outlet of the day today. My entire list today was almost all Fortune. And I switched it out at the last minute for Business Insider because that story was horrible to me. But this is the only Fortune story that made me want to have a stern conversation with whoever is vetting these stories.
Good, I want to hear this.
Can we record that?
I feel like this headline seems benign enough.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, this is the stupidest thing I've ever read. I have never read anything stupider than this
Go
headline
ahead.
in the article that follows.
Let's hear it.
Because
Come on.
nowhere in this article does it mention that 90% of men don't know enough to start investing, but they do it anyway.
Wait, is that true, or are you making that number
No,
up?
I'm just, it's so, like, it's common sense. Like,
I don't know.
I
don't know enough to start
source
investing.
that. They do it anyway with the blind confidence of being born with unearned privilege. Like,
Yeah.
no one knows enough to start investing.
No, of course not.
30% of women
Men just like to gamble. That's why they think they know
And
enough to start
so-
investing. Yeah.
Here are some other reasons this headline
Yes,
is
go
stupid
ahead.
beyond the yelling I just did. We have Google. We've had Google for a while. If you don't know enough about investing, you can use Google, and women are not so dumb that they don't know how to use Google.
I can contradict you there, Emma. I just read that Gen Z actually uses TikTok
Instagram,
and Instagram to search for things now more than Google. So I don't know what you're talking about with Google. Do you even know what Google is?
I'm forgetting. It's like,
Yeah. So stop it.
But so there's that. And then these are the 4 bullets. These are the verbatim 4 bullets that this article used to give the 30% of women who don't know enough to start investing advice. 1, start early and be consistent. 2, plan for retirement needs. 3, contribute to retirement plans. And 4, ask questions and share knowledge. That is what they said. Those were the 4 main points.
Early, be consistent, plan for retirement needs.
Wait,
contribute to
can we
retirement.
just discuss?
Are 2 and 3 different?
Yes, and 2 and 3 are the same.
Plan for
first of
retirement
all,
needs,
it's not that
contribute
they're the same that's the problem to me. It's the answer to you don't know enough about investing. Here's where to start is invest, basically. Contribute to a retirement plan is just investing. So you don't know enough, and the answer is you should put some money in an investment. That's
Emma, are you secretly trying to work for Fortune magazine? Are you like hoping that they're going to reach out and you'll write better articles?
Someone needs to write the ship, clearly, because what the hell is this?
Did a man or a woman write this article? That's the question.
And that's the kicker, isn't it? Because it feels like someone poorly mansplained something to you.
No, it's
but
definitely
unfortunately, a woman did write that.
Because they can't get away with having a man write this article
absolutely
anymore.
not.
Like you just have a woman write it, and
Or
and
slap a
then
female name on
when
it
you
even.
make fun of it, you're making fun of a woman giving other women advice, and like it's safe territory for Fortune. Congrats to Fortune for basically making.
Which is why I want to have the aforementioned stern conversation with whoever is vetting these articles.
I think you should just write your own article, and in response and a
Are you
rebuttal.
hiring her at Fortune? Yeah.
And I think you just write your own article and submit it as an op-ed to Fortune and do 30% of women don't say they know enough to start investing, and your op-ed is like they do know enough. You need to know nothing. Like just
100%.
Buying an S&P 500 ETF takes approximately 0 research.
Correct. And those are my stories.
Thank you, Emma Lurking. Matt, you got a strong
I can't pick Delta, and I can't pick Delta because it's so funny. It's not irritating to me. It's comedy.
Like, I just love that he doesn't regret encouraging 2,000 pilots to retire. I don't understand. Yeah.
I like that his number one challenge is his job, which is flying planes.
He's clearly not doing well.
And all of the things he's done up till now makes it harder for him to do his job. They were all his choices.
Yeah.
Now it makes it harder for him to do his job. And the quote is fantastic. Didn't do as good as we could. Like he's a Dr. Seuss character.
I can't get over that he did not predict a surge in travel. I just can't get over that. I mean, that's just like the easiest part of his job is that they must have been planning for once the pandemic restrictions are over, people are going to go crazy traveling. How does he not know that?
Imagine me seeing these two headlines separately, because I did see them in the correct order. I saw number one challenge, and then I saw doesn't regret encouraging 2,000 pilots to retire. I could not believe.
But that's not Matt's vote.
Yeah, it's not my vote. I think Mark Andreessen saying things that Mark Andreessen says isn't irritating. That's just on brand. So that leaves me with Fortune and 30% of women.
Really?
Because I do have... Look, I spent a lot of time while I was at the mothership at MSCI as a quasi-mentor. Nothing official, but like there were analysts who I worked with one-on-one for a really long time, some of whom were women. And I used to always say things like, stop apologizing. Just write what you think. Like, you're an analyst. You're smarter than I am. Just do it. And I used to say things like that all the time. And this is exactly why. Because you're peppered with things like, you're not good enough to do a thing. I am a white, upper-class male. We do not have that built in us. We literally go out into the world and think nothing is impossible for me to do, even when I know zero about it. So there's like this mental barrier that keeps getting reinforced by stupid articles in Fortune. And that is the irritating part to me. So I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. I'm mostly going for this one because it woke Emma up. Normally, like
yeah, I know she got real angry.
I look at Emma and I imagine like sleeping the night away. Like I just feel like tired. But this one, Emma, you really I love when you get energized by something. So that's the reason why I'm voting for this one.
So condescending. Don't condescend to me, Fortune. Don't you dare. Because I am the part of the 30% of women who says that they don't know enough to start investing. But the truth is that I have spent at least 6 to 10 hours of my life trying to figure out my investing future. So I probably know more than the 90% of men.
Yeah, what are you talking about? When we had the Blowhard Index show, you were very active, very smart.
You were
choices,
good.
what are you talking about?
Yeah,
it might be time to bring that back.
Yeah, let's bring it back.
Let's bring
now
that.
that we have our own data, actually, it is time to bring it back.
Let's bring it back, and we'll bring it back as a how-to.
Here's a little bit of a tease.
How to screw this up.
A little bit of a tease that nobody cares about. We are in process of finalizing our first round of data. We are in process of working on the UI, the what do you call it? The platform?
Our platform,
web, web data platform. So as soon as we're operational and we're able to integrate that into the show, and we're going to have more video, and we can use our own data to help us learn things about these companies and invest, we'll bring it all back. There you go. There's my tease.
Very exciting.
Okay, irritating of the week. Something about Fortune magazine. I don't know. I stopped paying attention about an hour ago. Before we get out of here, who won the week? Anybody? Well,
yeah,
I
everybody
like
does.
How Ari, for once, is answering. The week she's not here, she's finally filling out this category.
Yeah, Ari's answer this week is trees won the week.
Trees won the week.
Trees won the week.
Every week in my backyard.
Yeah, but there are more of them, and that means they're winning. If trees can outpace population growth, trees will win, period. They'll win the life.
You don't have any evidence of that, though, because there's still widespread logging. So how do you know there's more of them?
They won the week. Just shut up and let them win.
Okay. All right. Good riddance, sorry. Anyone else?
And then,
Emma? Yeah.
I think the goats won the week because they got way more attention than they deserve.
Okay,
so
fine.
Congrats to them.
I don't like that sarcasm.
I love that one. I wish that was mine, but mine was Twitter's lawyers won the week.
Matt, that's mine too. It's a win for Twitter's lawyers. You know what? I want to applaud them once again for finally just succinctly saying what we all think, because they lawyers have a terrible way of
really
there's
good.
a lot of gobbledygook. They don't know how to tell a story. Musk's letter, their lawyer's letter to Twitter trying to get out of the deal was just full of nonsense, full of fake news, full of bullshit, frankly. So I do hand to Twitter's lawyers for getting right to the point and really laying out a really good case.
Look, like Wachtell Lipton needs any more shout-outs than it's like the
I didn't say anything about Wachtell Lipton. I said Twitter's lawyers.
Worldwide best law firms, by every ranking, and not ours. I have no idea. But here's that when Elon Musk's lawyers say they want out of the deal, and the things that they list as the reasons they want out of the deal are we didn't get enough information. And then in the next paragraph say, we got enough information to say that there are too many bots. So that's our problem. And then they say, you fired 2 executives and you freezed hiring. And that was a reason why there was a problem, except that they knew that they were firing the executives before. They signed off on it. The lawyers saw it. And the people that left, they basically said, Twitter, you had people quit. And the people quit because Elon Musk was making the purchase. And they asked for things like they were complaining that they didn't get an Excel chart from Goldman Sachs. They got a PDF. That was, literally, it was the most ridiculous thing.
As Emma always says, don't hire a lawyer from Tufts. Don't hire anyone from Tufts. That's what she always says. Hire nobody from Tufts.
And then Twitter's lawyers come out with what is going to be a law school class by itself. I just think they won. They won.
Predictions.
Ari predicts that Costco's hot dog prices will go up.
I think that's a terrible prediction. This guy, it's Ari's prediction. Stood by this nonsensical price freeze on hot dogs for basically his whole career. So Ari, that's a terrible prediction. How dare you?
I'll let her know.
My prediction is, I don't even know what you call this person. When your father has a child with his stepdaughter, which I guess is your stepsister, what does that person become to you? Like what will your what is this? Like, I don't even know what you call it.
I don't want to know. It's a horrible thing.
But my prediction is that this new hybrid stepdaughter sister to Elon becomes the new vice chair of SpaceX.
That's not a bad call.
I don't like that prediction at all.
I don't like the prediction. It doesn't mean it's not going to happen.
My prediction is it's revealed that Elon Musk's race to Mars was entirely a way to escape his children.
Well,
there's no other reason. He's not going to Mars for humanity. He's going to Mars because there's so many of his children here.
But that the court system is helping with that. Aren't his children literally suing to get away from him? They're suing him to get away from him.
Yeah, well, there's going to be lawsuits asking him for money next. So I think he's just going to go to Mars.
I thought you were going to go the opposite direction. I thought you were going to say that his race to Mars was a way to be able to take his children and populate Mars. I thought he was going to use his children to populate Mars.
What a terrible idea.
All right. My prediction is that Matt is going to find out some piece of information about the James Webb Telescope that ruins it for him.
Not going to happen.
No. Stop it, Emma.
Space porn is my favorite. When Pluto images were coming in 5 years ago, I was watched them live. I was like
with the Star Trek or whatever.
I love
you're
it.
Watching.
I love it. It's just look.
Star Trek was a groundbreaking show.
All of the stuff that we talk about.
First ESG TV show was Star Trek.
All of this stuff that we talk about is meaningless in the face of outer space. Outer space is so much more vast.
Think about it, Emma. You had a Jewish guy running the captain. You had a Japanese American, blah 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 blah, black woman, Scottish person. Come on, first ESG television show. Right there. First interracial kiss. All right there in Star Trek, Emma. Get over it.
It's true.
First ESG TV show.
Okay.
Plus, it's worth saying NASA is basically church for atheists.
I like this.
That's what I feel every time I see stuff come out of NASA. Do we have anything else? That's it.
No, please.
That's it for this show.
Oh, Greg Larkin.
Yep.
We do have Greg Larkin. That was Emma Lurking and Damian Rollis. I'm Matt Moscardi. We are Free Float. If you like this, go subscribe and share and all that stuff. But stick around for 3 minutes while Greg Larkin of Punks and Pinstripes lays in to Elon Musk. Here's Greg.